Hello, my name is Amy Sturkey. I am a pediatric physical therapist, and I am with someone I love. This is Joshua Broughton. And Josh is somebody I saw, how long ago, Josh?
15 years.
I saw you for 15 years. And how long ago? 9 years ago?
9 years since we've seen each other, yes.
And how old are you now, Josh?
28.
He's 28 years old. And Josh has level 3 cerebral palsy, which means he walks out inside the home. He doesn't use forearm crutches, but outside the home, he uses forearm crutches to walk around. We were just talking about medical stuff, and I didn't get to seizures. Have you ever had a seizure?
Not since I was little. I used to have like small blackout seizures when I was 5 years old. Then all of a sudden they just...
Like absence seizers?
Yeah. All of a sudden they just stopped.
What a blessing. It's really common for people who have cerebral palsy to have seizures, so I'm glad that they haven't been something that really affected your life. Tell me about therapies. I know you were with me, but I didn't. You had PT long before me, I assume. When did you start PT?
Started PT almost immediately because I was diagnosed so early.
Yeah, you were diagnosed at 3, so they probably came to your home?
Yep. Started to in Boston.
What's your do you remember that? What is your earliest memories of PT?
When we were in my house, in my apartment in Massachusetts.
You remember that? How old were you?
4 or 5, give or take.
Yeah, wow. It must, I don't know what that would be like to be able to remember such a long stream of PTs. I hope, was it a good experience for you?
Yeah. Yeah, we were able to do some exercises in the house.
And what makes a good therapist to you?
Well, able to understand and communicate well.
Right.
Well, and some memorable exercises.
Okay, so a good therapist to you is somebody who communicates well and has good exercises.
Yep.
Okay. What about occupational therapy? Have you ever done occupational therapy?
Very, very little of it. I had a little bit of occupational therapy in school. It helped me. I used to use an Alpha Smart in middle school through high school, and occupational therapy would always help me with that.
What did you use that for? Was that to type your notes?
Yeah, my handwriting wasn't very good.
Okay. So you had occupational therapy privately for a little while, and then occupational therapists at school followed you? Is that what happened?
Yep.
Okay. And what about speech therapy? Did you ever have to have speech therapy?
No, none of that. My parents say they probably couldn't hear themselves thinking with as much speech I have.
That makes sense to me. So tell me about how school went. Was school challenge? What subjects were good? Was school hard for you?
School, some parts were harder than others, no doubt. Math was particularly hard for me. I was glad I didn't have to take as much math as I might be. I loved English and theater classes and science classes, but the Alpha Smart and the PT I had in school really helped me.
All right. So you ended up going to a school that emphasized arts and theater kind of thing, didn't you?
Yeah, elementary school was visual and performing arts, Dilworth Elementary.
That would be right up your alley.
And even in middle school and high school, even though they weren't labeled as back at schools, they still had excellent drama, theater, and music programs of their own.
Right. And so in 8th grade, you had some other diagnoses. Tell me about it.
Well, in 8th grade, that was when I was officially diagnosed with Asperger's and ADD.
Okay.
That's when it finally went on my record. I was placed in smaller classes for middle school to begin with. Just a little help there. And that's when I finally got extended time on my tests. No answer sheets for the end of year tests. I just marked it in the book.
And did those accommodations make it easier for you?
Yes, I would say. Though I was able to get tests done at a reasonable time.
And what was the school experience for? So different. How was it different for you? Were the other kids kind to you? Did you have trouble?
Oh, there were never any troubles with kids being unkind. In fact, a lot of the classes, more to be more specific, my math and English classes were with kids who had similar problems, not CP per se, but people with ADD, and who need a little extra help.
So, did you know other kids with cerebral palsy?
Not until I started coming to therapy and working with you.
So really it was there that you met others. Because now I feel like with social media, people can connect with other people who are similar, but it would seem to me like it would be, if you didn't know other people who were similar to you, it might feel a little lonely.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was, I never was lonely, especially not in school.
Well, I have to say that you are not a lonely kind of person. I mean, when people meet you, they love you.
Oh.
And you are really I mean, my experience of you is that you're really outgoing and like to laugh and joke and have fun. So my gut feel is that people would like to be around you. Did people have to help carry your books to class and things like that? How did that work?
A couple times, particularly when we had to bring textbooks home. Thankfully, as the school years went on, particularly in high school, I only had to do that once.
So did you have a different set of books at home and one set at school? Is that how they managed that?
Yeah, that's how I did. I don't think they ever got around to doing that in middle school, but once high school came around, that's when they started putting that into my IEP.
And then with an ADHD diagnosis, did they have you start sitting at the front of the class? Or it seems like they would have you sit close to the front of the room anyway, because wherever was closest to the door, or were you free to sit anywhere you wanted?
I was pretty much free to sit anywhere I wanted. No, not middle seats. I always like to put a seat on the end, make it easier for all of us, everyone involved. And
then you went on to CPCC?
Yep.
Now that's a bigger campus. Did you have trouble getting around?
Oh no.
That CPCC is a community college.
Yep. A much bigger place, and it was a lot more space to walk around. They got that right when they say community. It was a wonderful time. I was able to pick my own classes and move around easy.
And were you at that college? Did you have to have someone go with you to be able to help you get around, or you were able to get around all by yourself?
I was able to get around all by myself.
Huh. Because a lot of times people with cerebral palsy need to have someone, but you were able to. Did you use a laptop at that point when you went to college to take notes, or how did you take your notes and all?
I did buy a laptop, a Surface Pro. In fact, it's sitting upstairs right now. But
okay.
I did use it to take notes.
So you just did because you had forearm crutches, so you couldn't carry bags. You just did a backpack, and it was there once you got there.
Yeah, and the laptop was a lot lighter than the Alpha Smart was, so
that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then after college, was it hard for you to find a job?
No. I had a little help because my father worked at the same company, but it was good finding a job, and now I'm working on finding a job in audio engineering, which a class I also took thanks to CPCC.
Awesome. Because a lot of times people tell me that they have a really hard time finding jobs. That when they go into an interview, people are not sure what to do with a person with cerebral palsy. So you're really blessed to immediately have an option of a place that you can go to work and it be easy for you.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for sharing with me the details of your life. Loving a lot of these details I didn't know. So thank you for sharing with me and with my followers. And I want to talk to you more. So let's do another talk soon.
Okay, anytime.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you liked this video and would like to be notified by email when the next video comes out, click the subscribe button here and click the golden bell icon and ensure notifications are enabled on your account.